Hey guys, it is Jacob, and I just finished level 100 and made one 8.4 run just to make sure that the leveling build is capable of that. So I will show you that it is. So this is the state of the build as I just finished the leveling. So this is the leveling build with all the defensive layers I used during the leveling. I will be swapping for more damage now. But as you can see, it is really tanky. It is capable of clearing 8.4 map. I was leveling in until level 99. I was leveling in 8.3 maps, and for the level 99 to level 100 I was leveling in 8.2 maps just to make sure that I don't die. Well, let's skip this. Just to make it a bit faster. Let's load. So this is how the clear goes. When you use this explode helmet, like I don't have the resistances for that, but the clear gets even faster because everything just explodes like this. Like the whole area just exploded. So yeah, if you want faster clear, that helmet is insane. Hunting the Eye of the Kraken. But for more safety, I have this one. And let's check the build. Okay, I will get out and then go back down again. Because I don't have enough reservation to swap the helmet around. So just to start all my auras. Okay. Okay. So my character. Helmet with how it works actually. It works around the cicada shell. So this armor makes 50% damage taken bypass energy shield, so you are stuck in life. And it also scales your maximum energy shield into damage, into elemental damage, which you can see here. Like I'm doing 3 elemental damage. And that's from the cicada shell itself. So the more energy shield you have, the more damage you do. So the core of the build would be this. Like I have 11k ES here, should have 12. Okay, I won't bother with that. So the more energy shield you have, the more damage you will do. And the helmet, maximum energy shield, some sealed mana to be able to run more auras, resistances and aura effect. And that's around the build. I'm scaling life and energy shield everywhere and elemental penetration. So this is projectile skills, some penetration, life, server for more crit. Boots, maximum life on the implicit, that's the Dreamcraft. You can get it from the base materials, these ones. So you just roll until you hit something useful or something that does not break the rest of the mods on the boots. So I got 20% with 1 tier lower on the fire resistance. So that was what I was aiming for. And again, life, elemental penetration, resistances, move speed, aura effect, deflection. That's actually a really good defensive layer because you are always moving, so you are always like generating these. Yeah. Rings, again, max life, max energy shield, resistances on both of them. Plus defense actually is great because that scales your energy shield a lot. On the shield, active skills, elemental penetration, some percent maximum life. Flat maximum life is better on the shield, so if you can get one with flat maximum life, it's better because you have a lot of sources of percent life. So you just want flat life here. Max sentry quantity lets you summon one more sentry, increases your damage because you can, instead of 3 you can summon 4, so that's 33% increased damage, right? And the claw, the base one would be this, or the cheap one. Early in the season this one will cost a lot, but its price drops fast, so if you don't want to craft yourself some useful claw like this with a lot of elemental penetration, additional damage applied to life, and attack speed, then you can simply use this. I've showcased this claw in the last video, so you can check the playstyle there. It looks the same, it is just faster because this claw has only 30% attack speed while this one has 70. So yeah. And amulet, I'm using Eternity most of the times during mapping, but if you don't want to like struggle with swapping the amulet, you can use this, which the core role here is adds 30% max life to energy shield. It can be rolled up to 50%, which I know only of one of those on the server, so yeah. 33% active skills, some max life, and resistances to fix your res, basically, to get res capped. I'm res capped with auras. And the belt. On the belt, you are actually looking for as much maximum life as possible. So this one gives me 5. Minus 2 plus 2 is 0, plus 5 is 5, minus 1, 4. And 5 is 9, am I right? Yeah, so 9% life and 2% elemental resistance per non-legendary gear life, and per legendary gear is the resistance, so it gives me 4 elemental resistance and 9% life per rare piece of gear. So that's how you scale your energy shield to such high number. Like this one is not that high, you can check other Erikas that have like 20k. So yeah, that's my gear. The skills, I'm using Ghostblade and ARR as I showed you in the last video. Erosion skill level candles with sealed mana. These are the links. Let's go through the skills really fast. Hardened emergency avoidance. Hardened is flat 25% damage reduction. Emergency avoidance increases your evasion, which you have passive that recovers 10% of your energy shield and life on evasion, so yeah, that helps with that. And periodic burst to get occasionally some more damage. And let's check the auras first. I'm using Selfishness with Restrain. If you don't have the currency for that, or the reservation for that, you can swap Selfishness with Stand as 1, or you don't have to use either. Your auras will just not give you as much damage as these do. So that's this. Precise Erosion Enhancement gives you 17% additional damage to life. That's the main role here. Precise Projectiles gives you projectile damage and 50% chance to gain additional projectiles. And Precise Energy Shield is energy shield and additional energy shield on top of that. Restrain, just some more sealed mana. And the curse, innate curse with elemental destruction. We are doing roughly 33% of each element, so this one is the best curse you can get. And precise rejuvenation and precise swiftness on Erika. on Erika, movement speed actually scales her damage, so that's why I'm using this aura. And the rejuvenation aura is there just to have a source of permanent and stable life regeneration, because you are taking 50% of the damage you take into life, so you want to regenerate, so you want to be regenerating life always. And now the defensive layers. I have precise elemental resistance, which gives me +1 max res, so that's the way that gives me like 77 resistance in combination with the armor, which gives 1% as well. So 1% max here and 1% max from the aura. And then auto defense with frost shield and extended duration. This combination like this makes your frost shield last forever, like it never drops. You can check it here. It will immediately starts again, so that's the combination there. That's frost shield. That's your main defense, like you always want to have this up. That's 28% additional physical damage and fire damage reduction. It also reflects some cold damage, but that doesn't really matter. This one is the point we are using this. The next defensive layer is Reform. I've paired Reform with Rhythm to make it auto-cast. You don't have to do that. If you are okay with casting it yourself, you can swap Rhythm with cooldown reduction and cast it more often. And also with defensive layers. Defensive layers is your source of energy shield regeneration, and when you set it up like this, you will regenerate energy shield for 2 seconds every time you use Reform. And I have the same link on my last defensive setup here, Delayed Pain. Again, Delayed Pain with Rhythm that casts it every 6.3 seconds, and for every cast you get 2 seconds of energy shield recharge. And I pair that with extended duration and pain amplification, because both of those links increase the duration of delayed pain, which you want to be able to keep it up for the 6.3 seconds for Rhythm to like keep it up forever, which I'm not able to, but it's almost there. Like it will drop and then it starts like closely after that. Why I don't care about this with Reform is because the second you are able to generate barrier somehow, which I generate barrier when I use my main skill, my NIR, I get barrier, and the Reform simply refreshes the barrier before it goes off. So see, it got refreshed when the Reform was used. So that's my source of regenerating barrier. It also regenerates my energy shield, and here is the little caveat that I gone through. You can actually, when you have it on 2 skills, the defensive layers, the defensive skills get cast simultaneously, and what you want to do is cast one of the skills during your start of the map manually to make them like this. I casted it manually, so it immediately got cast after it ended by the Rhythm, and now they will alternate their casting, and they will keep the Reform uptime like longer. In the ideal situation, you will be regenerating energy shield 4 seconds out of those 6 seconds of the Rhythm cooldown. Okay, so that's the defensive setup. Hero traits like this. Don't ask me to explain, she simply scales from movement and from multi-strike. So the more move, the more you move, the more damage you do basically. And the more multi-strike you have, the more damage you do. That's it. So you can just copy this. And the talent God of Machines for sentries. So that's the bottom side of the talent tree. Sentry, max sentry +1, and overly modified additional sentry damage. And the skills looks like this. Machinist, that's the second from God of Machines, this one. So Machinist also for sentries. Heat up, additional sentry damage, and co-resonance for converting your attack speed into sentry attack speed, so they shoot faster. And they actually gain some chance to deal double damage from this as well. And the talent tree looks like this. And the last one is Marksman, and that is because you get +1 jump here. That's huge. Once you get this, the clear is really nice. But large talents. Gale, 50% of projectile speed bonus is also applied to the additional damage bonus. So then your projectile speed passives increase your damage as well. And also your links, like wind projectiles, gives you some projectile speed. This one removes the projectile speed. But yeah. So that's for more damage. And this last large talent, I will show you the tree first and then I will tell you something about the last talent. So the tree looks like this. And from the last points here, you definitely want to grab the +1 jump first. Okay, and then the last talent. I use this one for clear speed, because every time your projectile hits something, it splits into more projectiles, which then chain. So this gives you clear speed, but for single target damage and for bossing, you want to take this for more damage. It gives you 35% additional damage for enemies in proximity, and the damage is reduced when by the travel distance of the projectiles. So I use this on single target. I have the right setup here, I do. Let me go back to town again. Hopefully my auras will reset now. Yeah. So I have my damage set up now, and this is how the damage looks. You stack your multi-strikes and movement here, and then you just summon your Einariars and Whirling Blades around, or Spiral Strike around. And this is with the defensive setup. I will be swapping for more damage, so this is the mapping setup I was mapping with in the showcase of the 8.2. This is with damage packed spirits. Should go a bit higher. Yeah. And that should be somewhere around under the 500 million with damage packed spirits. And what I will do for more damage now, I will be putting the Frost Shield instead of Delayed Pain. And I will be putting Precise Euphoria on hit with Burst of Anger and Mania here. Actually, can do it right now. And to be able to keep the Frost Shield up, like for the entire time, I cannot use defensive layers on that. This should be enough. Yeah, see? The frost shield now gets like triggered before it runs out. So that's a tooling here. That's all you need. And I can spend these points elsewhere. So I can go for more cooldown reduction here, or I can go for one more aura. Oh, and the cooldown reduction as well. Okay, so I will use it like this probably, and I will add something here as well. The only thing I cannot add are these, because those reduce the duration. So the uptime is not perfect there. Might be an option as well. And I can put another aura here on the, or the stand as one to get more from the precise elemental resistance. But I will probably use something like precise nimbleness here for 3% additional evasion. So yeah, this will be the setup, or something like this will be the setup I will be running now for farming. And for even more damage, you can even swap the reform for... if you want even more damage, you can swap reform for fixate. Put defensive layers here. It could look like this. Wait until they go on cooldown. And that will give you even more damage. And now a few tips on how I was leveling this. I basically followed Uda's build progression, which for those of you who don't know, you can actually check how people progress their build by going to hero ranking. You can check different days here. So this was how I did it. I started on day 3 of his progression, and I followed this guy here basically. So I started with this gear, and then I progressed it further as he progressed his build further. But he pretty much leveled with the same gear as I did, like with the unique claw, with these boots and the explode helmet. He eventually got the cicada shell. Somewhere. Yeah. So he eventually swapped to cicada shell as well, and then started scaling energy shield into damage. What I did not show you are the statue of the god, so that's mostly unique. I've gone with the cheaper version, so you get 3 times god's footsteps, and you pair it with last god's tears that look like this. You want either sentry damage or attack damage. Sentry damage in my case were half the price of attack damage, so I've gone with those, so I have 4 of those. Then you want Peaceful Realm on your Pedigree of Gods, which regenerates your order, which are these stacks here. So when you set it up like that, you will have 99 stacks during the entire map. And for every point of order, you get the effect that the slates say. So you have 99 stacks of this, so you basically get 20% to 12% additional sentry damage per each of these. And it is actually more because each of these scale the order talent of the adjacent slates. So these two are adjacent, so it is this plus 20%. This one is supported by 2 of those, so that's plus 40%. This one has additional attack damage as well, so that's supported by 40% from these as well. So all the slates support each other to give you even more than they say. And the last one here, I got additional attack speed, which scales into your NRAR's attack speed, so that helps as well. It also helps you a bit with your movement. And if you want to push it even further, you can swap this middle one here for this, which will basically copy the multiply talent from the 4 adjacent slates, and then like, yeah, you get it, right? Like, it amplifies, it takes this talent times 4 because it is connected to 4, so that's 20, 40, 80%, and then it scales all 4 of these by 80% basically. So that's how you get even more from this slate combination. And yeah, that's it. So I've pretty much showed you everything. This is the build, this is my last build probably of this season. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the journey with me, and I will see you in the next season. Bye.